Hello dear students, welcome back to the NCERT science class of 9th standard. Dear students, we are studying the second topic is matter around us pure, in which we have already studied about the mixtures, the types of mixtures, and also we have studied about the mixtures like solution, suspension and colloidal solution, and their differences also we have studied. Next, dear students, today we are going to study a very important concept, that is the separation of the components of mixtures. You know the mixture, meaning of mixture means a mixture is a substance formed by the mixing of two or more components, that is physically or chemically. See that separation of these components, today we are going to learn the separation of the components of the mixture. See here dear students, very first method, that is a separation of non-volatile substance from the volatile substance, that is by evaporation. Separation of, here they have given the blue color or a black color dyes. See, you might have saw in yesterday or in your last class that you have studied, that is in a ink, that is blue ink or a black ink, that contains the colloidal particles of ink or the dyes which are present in a liquid or a water. How to separate the dyes from the ink? How to separate the water and the dyes, that is black color or blue color substance? Is it possible? Yes. Today we are going to study the separation of the black colored substance or blue color substance from the ink. That ink is a mixture of water and the dyes. Blue color ink contains blue color dyes and water, and black color ink contains black color dyes and the water. See here what happens, dear students, the black color dyes or blue color dyes are the non-volatile substance and water is a volatile substance. First of all, we should have to know the meaning of volatile and non-volatile substance. Volatile substances are those substances which will evaporate easily on heating. Water will evaporate on heating. Petrol, suppose if we take the petrol on our palm here, what happens? At our body temperature only, the petrol will evaporate. The substance which will evaporate easily, such substances are called as the volatile substance. For example, oils, water, etc. Different oils are there that will be evaporates very easily. Such substances are called volatile, and non-volatile substance that will not evaporate on heating. For example, wood that will not evaporate on heating. Such substances are soil that will not evaporate, metals that will not evaporate on heating. Such substances are called as the non-volatile substance. See here what happens? Non-volatile substance, black or blue dyes are colored substances which are present in the ink. They are non-volatile, that will not evaporate. Only water will be evaporated from the ink. That is the separation of the dyes or colored substances like dyes from the blue or black ink. See here we have to arrange the apparatus here like that. Here we have to take a beaker and we have to take a petri dish or a glass dish. Then in which we have to take the blue or black ink and a beaker. We have to take inside the beaker, we have to take the water and we have to put in a wire gauze, and next just below the wire gauze we have to put a Bunsen burner. On heating the liquid which is present in the beaker, that will be warm up, and next by which the whatever the ink is present in the petri dish, that also will get warm. The next, then whatever the ink contains liquid material, that will starts to evaporate, that vaporizes. The volatile substance will vaporize and non-volatile substance will remain in that beaker or in a petri dish. Then see what happens, by this method we can separate the non-volatile substance from the volatile substance by evaporation. See, he has given on evaporating, or by evaporating we can separate the dyes from the water, or volatile substance or non-volatile substance from the volatile substance, isn't it? See here what happens, dear students. The next method, that is separation of milk. separation of the components of the milk. Milk is a mixture of the different fat particles or protein particles in a water. Milk is a homogeneous mixture that we have studied yesterday. These are the colloidal particles. If you are going to separate, if you are going to separate by filtration method, the milk particle will also passes out from the filter paper. That we can't separate it. And here we can't separate by the evaporation method also. Means separation of milk particles or the fat particles from the milk is highly impossible to separate by evaporation method. Next, dear students, what happens here? Next here what happens? See what happens? We have to go by a method called as the centrifugation method. Centrifugation method. See here what happens, dear students? Centrifugation method. In the centrifugation, what happens? Whatever the mixture we have to separate, the components of the mixture, we have to take in a beaker, and we have to rotate the mixture around the center. What happens? Whatever the solid particles are there, that will be settled at the bottom. You might have played that game or the game in the childhood. See, when the mother takes the detergents during the washing the clothes in the bucket, see what happens? The detergents that will get mixed, and after this one, when we rotate the mixture of the detergents and water, the detergents that will be settled at the bottom. Detergent that will be settled at the bottom, and the water will be present upside. See, on rotating the center, the residue and the solid particles that will be settled at the bottom. That is called as the centrifugation method. When we rotate the milk in the centrifugation chamber, the whatever the solid particles, whatever the colloidal particles of the milk, that is fat particles are there, that will be settled at the bottom. See, we can show by this. See here, see what happens on rotating. See what happens, whatever the residues, whatever the liquid which are present in the liquid in a test tube, that will be separate. See, the solid particles will be settled at the bottom, the liquid forms the upside layer. See, when we rotate a mixture of milk and some other substances are there, that will be, when we rotate it, see, the solid particles are the colloidal particles that will be settled at the bottom due to the rotation around the center. See, that will settle, and the liquid will form the layer, upside layer. See, the colloidal particles which are present in the liquid, that have to separate by rotating the liquid around the center. Or see, liquid, or second one, that is churning method, that you might have saw in your home, that is churning of milk, that you saw. See here what happens, dear students? Application of this centrifugation method. See, first one, in the laboratories, like diagnostic laboratories, see what happens here? The testing of blood and urine is going on. In the diagnostic laboratories, see, they will take the blood and urine samples in the test tubes, and they will put in a chamber that contains the number of test tubes. They rotate the chamber around a center. See what happens, whatever the substance which are present in the milk, whatever the substance which are present in the blood, that is RBC, WBC, platelets, these are the particles that will be settled at the bottom, and next plasma will present at the upper layer when we rotate it. See, this method is also applicable in the, see here, diagnostic laboratory, to separate the blood components and or for testing of blood and urine. Next, dear students, after this one, the separation of butter and cream in the dairies from the milk. See, in the dairy what happens? The milk will rotate around the center. See what happens here? Whatever the cream or the butter that will be settled at the bottom, the liquid material will be present at the top layer. Then after this one, dear students, in the washing machine, see what happens? Due to the rotation of the wet cloths around the center, what happens? See, whatever the liquid material is there, that will be squeezed out. The cloths will be squeezed out from the wet cloths, and next water will be separated out. Next, dear students, the another separation method. See here, dear students, if two immiscible liquids, suppose for example oils and the water gets mixed, at that time what you will do? Is it possible by evaporation? See, sometimes evaporation method is also fails. what happens, dear students? Most volatile liquid may form bottom layer that you can't separate by evaporation method. At that time, what you will do? See, you will go by the separation by this separating funnel. Here, what happens? The two immiscible liquids, they form the two separate layers. See, suppose for example, layer of oil and second one is layer of water. See how they will separate? They will separate by a principle that is depending on their density. The two immiscible liquids, they form the two different layers based on their density. They form the two different layers. See, the oil density is less than the water. The density of oil is less than the water. That's why it is forms the upper layer. And if you are going to heat the water will be rise up first. The temperature of water will be rise up, and it can't evaporate through the oil layer. That's why the evaporation method fails here. See, in such cases, what we have to do? We have to take these two immiscible liquids in a separating funnel. See here, what happens? The first oil layer forms the upper layer and water forms the bottom layer. See here, we have to put one that stopcock. See, when we open it, the first layer will be moved out. The first bottom layer that contains the water, that will be moved out. When the oil layer come in contact with the stopcock, we have to put it off. Then by this method, we can separate the two immiscible liquids. Next, dear students, the application or the uses of this method, the separation of two immiscible liquids. See what happens to separate the mixture of oils and waters. To separate the mixture of oils and waters, the another method that is to extract the iron from its ore. Ore, that is ore contains the different slag and all that can be separated by this method, that is separation method, separating funnel. We can separate the components of the mixture. That's all about the today's separation methods. The next remaining the separation methods we will study in the next class. Thank you.